when he was candidate Donald Trump, he vowed to build the wall and that Mexico will pay for it. Although few issues are more divisive than immigration, one thing both sides in this often loud conversation agree on: the system is broken. How to fix it? Let's ask Chris Salcedo, Texas radio talk show host, author, and political analyst. Chris, thanks for joining us.
Mr. Cook, pleasure's all mine. Thank you, sir.
You are a conservative Latino, which seems like an oxymoron according to conventional wisdom. Historically, the Hispanic vote has leaned Democratic. Is that vote now in play? And what would Republican candidates have to say and do to win those votes?
Well, first off, it's a common misconception that Hispanics have not been in play. Let me give you a statistic you probably have not heard from the national press, that in the last gubernatorial election, the conservative Governor Greg Abbott, the conservative Lieutenant Governor Dan Patrick, they received 54% of the Latino male vote, the majority here in the state of Texas. So I think of all the so-called minority groups, the Latinos are more persuadable because of their experiences and where they have been, typically coming from oppressed nations, left-wing nations that have ground their economies into the dirt. The question you just asked, I get asked a lot by Republicans. And it usually goes something like this: how do we reach Latinos? How do we reach Latinos? I said, look, this is going to be very complicated. So I want you to break out your notepad and listen to everything I have to say. Talk to them.
Right. Yeah.
And that's basically what I say. Just talk to them. You have a superior message if you are, if the message is conservative and truly conservative, and it wins. No matter where it's tried, conservatism wins. So if you just talk with them and talk about the merits of that over my opposition, you can start to persuade folks.
Will these voters show up for the midterm election, or are they more animated by presidential years?
Well, I think the Latino population is more reflective of the American population writ large. You got to be honest, the Republicans in the Congress haven't given much people to get excited about. I mean,
right.
This last omnibus spending bill, authored by Mitch McConnell and Paul Ryan and worked out behind closed doors in a smoky room with Chuck Schumer and Nancy Pelosi, it was a massively irresponsible spending bill that's tattooed squarely on the Republican-controlled Congress. And that was incredibly dispiriting to those who are Republican voters, conservative or otherwise. So the Republicans have not helped very much. The only prayer I believe that Republicans have of keeping the House of Representatives is Donald Trump.
Back to immigration now. This week, there's lots of news video of those refugees camped out in Tijuana, those who made it to the end of the caravan. What are we going to do to sort this out?
That's a fabulous question. There are two problems we have here in America. We have a legal immigration problem because our legal immigration system is old, it's antiquated, it is not up to date to meet our economic needs in the United States. And we have an illegal immigration problem. Two different problems, two different solutions. You've got a caravan full of people who have been told by a group of organized folks among the left, hey, just get on up there, you're going to be able to go in and everything will be hunky-dory, just say the magic A word, asylum, and you're going to be fine. In the past, Barack Obama, what he did in the last 8 years is basically say, you know, come on in, just disappear into America and promise, give me a pinky swear, promise you're going to appear in court. Well, you can imagine how often that happened. Donald Trump is taking a different approach. No more catch and release. They're going to be, once they're allowed to come in, and they're going to get a court proceeding that says, okay, are you truly deserving of asylum?
Right.
This, of course, is going to take a while, and what the administration is hoping it'll provide disincentive for those who want to skip ahead and come into the country illegally.
Hey, based on Uncle Sam's own involvement in various regime change misadventures, do we not owe some consideration to folks who are fleeing places we may have helped destabilize?
I don't know that we necessarily owe them that, but I think that if we get a process of legal immigration that makes sense, we will allow these individuals, and again, I want to be very clear, the legal immigration reform is desperately needed, especially as we have a pro-business president in the Oval Office now. And all of a sudden, there's going to be a demand for that kind of labor. As far as the destabilizing efforts of Americans across the globe, I mean, I guess you have to be specific. I think it would be incident specific as to our obligation to take in individuals. Because to be quite frank, a lot of these areas were already destabilized long before America got there.
Well, Iran, Contra, El Salvador, Panama, you know, we've been around. They're fleeing things we may have been involved with. Chris Salcedo, WBAP, Dallas, Fort Worth, KSEV, Houston. Come again, will ya?